to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Monday, August 24th, 2020. And guys, I've never been a big napping guy before, but this weekend I napped a ton, and now I've got more energy on a Sunday night than I think I've ever had.
That was quite a lead-in. I believe it after that good morning.
You getting your sleep in before the baby comes now?
Well, I don't know. I think my wife was telling me she thinks it's just because I don't ever sleep during the week, and then my body's now just forcing me to shut down on the weekends. But
Willie, I've been doing that literally since we started this show. Like Saturday is a sleep day for the beef. I'm glad that you're coming on the train. It's dangerous.
Saturday is just a day that just is not a day for you.
It doesn't exist for me.
It doesn't exist. Yeah.
I average like 17 hours of sleep a day. It was incredible.
That sounds amazing.
It is kind of like your hibernation. I'm with Wes. You're like trying to store up a couple extra hours each week before the baby comes. Maybe
I keep reading though that it doesn't work that way. And
no, it's not going to work.
No,
whatever
it
science.
No. I was joking.
Yeah.
No, I know, but it's not going to work either way. It's not going to work.
Yeah. I was mocked earlier for thinking that it would work also at home.
I firmly believe it works. Will, we should write a paper.
All right, well, I hope it does, because I'm firmly in that schedule now. Also, the RNC kicks off today, everybody. So, watch out for that. It's going to be electric, just like the DNC was. Which, hey, did Mark win the bet? By the way, was that live? Was that Biden's speech live?
No, was it the Hunter? It was the Hunter. Are we talking? I thought it was the Hunter speech was
for night
live.
4 of the DNC. Joe Biden's big.
I thought the bet was around Hunter.
No, it was whether Biden would be live or not. Yeah,
I've been looking.
I think it was.
You think it was live? There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there saying it wasn't.
I was looking for differences in his tie and like the way
there
he
is.
was the fold.
Apparently the pin in his lapel and also his wristwatch.
Yeah.
There's
it was
people
taped.
that say
there's like a reflection where you can see if you zoom into his eyeball, you can see him looking at a timestamp and the D.
We basically got it right though. I think everybody being skeptical of whether it would be live is exactly how it turned out.
Did you guys see the behind the scenes photo that came up on social media of the guy that was live switching the entire DNC with the digital DNC? It was awesome because it looks like a traditional type of crew dude. He's overweight. He's got a ponytail. He's in his 50s. He's got his microphone on, but he was just in his bedroom. At which that's
COVID.
That's what COVID is. It's very cool.
Yeah. People are winning Emmys from their bedrooms.
Yeah,
that's right. Just like us, we're an award-winning news show, straight from the comfort of our home studios.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So, Beef, you're looking pretty sharp there with that brand new Southwest style shirt.
Me? Why did this style go away? I want to know. Wrangler really leaned into this style.
That's like a Save the Bell, Save
by the Bell. Yes, but this was marketed. This is a Wrangler from the early '90s. So those guys weren't necessarily into the Save by the Bell style, but I guess Cowboys liked flair back then.
It was a mashup.
Yeah. Why did it go away? Is that what you asked?
Yeah. It's back now.
YouTube.com/Hard Factor News.
Looks good on you. Not everyone can pull it off, though, Beef.
That's true.
Like a drug kingpin in the 90s in Mexico or something.
Yeah. You might as well be driving a Lamborghini with coke flying out of the car. Why did I get pulled over?
No, this would be a fake Lambo. When they have you guys ever seen that when they chop a shitty a Datsun and put a Lambo hood on it?
Yeah.
Just cut and just color it neon green or whatever.
You'd be like a Camaro that stripped off all of the Camaro signage to make people think it was a nicer car.
Blacked out, bro.
Yeah. All right, we got 2 big stories in a lightning round today to kick off your week. Let's get it going first with one that, it's not fun, but we got to talk about it. It's the double hurricane. So, fellas, I'm pretty sure you've seen by now, there are 2 back-to-back hurricanes headed for the state of Louisiana. And, stop me if you've heard it before, but basically, Louisiana is, it's hurricane season. Louisiana is in the crosshairs. But this time, it's 2 hurricanes, one coming in Monday, and then another potentially coming in as 48 hours after that on Wednesday.
Couple questions for you, Will. The important questions, because how strong are they, and how strong are they going to be predicted to hit when they hit landfall? And B, are they going to hit New Orleans, which is below sea level, versus Baton Rouge, which is a little higher, Lafayette, which is a little higher?
Well, no one knows yet.
Great question.
No one knows where it's going to hit yet.
Right. But yeah, we do have an idea. So the first one is Hurricane Marco. And that's right now, I think it's a Category 2 out in the Gulf, but it's expected to make landfall as a Category 1 this afternoon, Monday afternoon. And that right now is headed straight be for southeastern Louisiana. So basically, it's could hit either New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. It's kind of headed straight for that triangle. And then after that, what's going to hit on Wednesday is right now Tropical Storm Laura, but expected to strengthen to a hurricane. And that is going to hit, or right now on path to hit, anywhere between Beaumont, Texas, and Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is basically the Texas-Louisiana state line. Mm-hmm. So that's Wednesday. So that's only 48 hours potentially after the first hurricane rolls through as a Category 1. And since they're not the strongest hurricanes, obviously everybody's thinking not wind damage, but storm surge and flooding.
Are they
the biggest issue
slow moving? Like they're just going to sit and dump rain, or
like the one in Houston?
Yeah.
It's definitely going to dump a bunch of rain, just like any tropical storm or hurricane that comes through.
Yeah,
and then create a storm surge with the wind. Also, I think it's expected to be 4 to 6 feet is the Hurricane Marco storm surge, and that's what's hitting on Monday. And then hopefully, there's a chance to subside, and then Laura hits in a different enough spot that it's not going to create like a double whammy effect where you have double storm surge hitting all the levees along the Gulf Coast at once.
It's a double hurricane, Wes. So yes, the answer to that is yes.
I knew there was going to be rain. Yeah. I just didn't know if it was slow.
Is there going to be water?
It'll be the first hurricane in history without rain.
Just wind, right?
Hey, great point though, Willie. You want to explain to the listeners at home what a levee is for those who don't know? Just because it's
an embankment along a river. Yeah, sure. So you hear the awesome song from
Led Zeppelin.
When the levee breaks. Well, it's about a river, I guess, or any body of water, but usually a river, I think. And along the banks, there's big hills built up to stop it when the river gets really high. So these levees usually are plenty high to handle any type of storm surge. But when you have back-to-back hurricanes coming through, that's unprecedented. It never happened before. If this happens, well, when it does happen, it's going to be the first time that 2 hurricanes will make landfall in the same general vicinity in 48 hours of each other ever, anywhere.
Ugh, so, great. Wow. It's like the opposite of a double rainbow. R.I.P. that guy. This is like the exact opposite of that. That's cool and makes you cry. This is tears of joy. This is the opposite of that.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. Mandatory evacuations have been ordered for some of the most remote parts of southeastern Louisiana. And if needed, Trump can sign an emergency declaration that will allow residents to shelter in hotels and motels, if it does become as bad as it could potentially. But hopefully it does not. Because
didn't we defund FEMA for stimulus money?
Yes, and when we joked about it, we said, we should have knocked on fucking wood. We joked about how, look, it was great that he did the executive order for those 4 things. More help is needed with the stimulus. But we said, FEMA, it's 2020, and it's hurricane season and fire season. And since then, there was a hurricane in Iowa that the federal government had to fund, and they've now declared California a disaster, which they've had to fund, and they certainly will have to fund New Orleans, Texas, that area as well, all within a month.
This will probably spur some bipartisan legislation, I would think, if those funds are depleted like that.
Yeah.
I hope they fight and destroy each other. Think about that. Like, what if they meet in the alley and they hurricane?
Oh yeah, like the 2 hurricanes.
And they battle
like a Godzilla.
While they're battling,
that'd be nice.
Left.
That'd be nice. They're spread enough 48 hours apart, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just going to be one, and then it's like the worst 1-2 combo you've ever gotten in your life.
Right. It's the worst scenario. It's actually one ends, and then right after it ends, the next one starts. So they don't actually touch.
Is China behind this too?
I would think, you shouldn't rule it out. If anything, if 2020's taught us anything so far, don't rule it out. Rule it out. And on that note, other, catastrophes like the one that China caused this year is the wildfires out west. So despite federal emergency declarations and thousands of firefighters working around the clock, 2020 California wildfires have now eclipsed 1 million acres already this year. And right now, currently burning are the second and third biggest individual fires of all time in the state. It's the 2 lightning complex fires burning in Northern California that we covered last week. So, like you said, Mark, the derecho in Iowa, all the devastation that caused the farming industry, the wildfires, the COVID pandemic, thanks China, and then now double hurricanes. And I think, though, it's adding up to a big opportunity for the most epic comeback of all time for the United States. Because, like, it's been a horrible year worldwide, and then especially in America. But I know that, like, when you go through tragedies together, you come out stronger 10 out of 10 times. So I'm excited for the future for America, which is why I'm storing my sperm for the long haul with Daddy. Infertility is a huge problem. And for guys, things don't get better as you age. Look, it's a real issue, all right? And Daddy, spelled D-A-D-I, is on a mission to make the process of fertility testing and sperm banking as comfortable, convenient, and cost-effective as possible. No more visits to the sperm bank and masturbating in awkward, you masturbate in the disgusting leather chair and then you have to wait in the awkward waiting rooms. Daddy has developed an at-home sperm collection kit allowing you to test and store your sperm from the comfort of your own home in your favorite masturbation chair. You're not going to be in that nasty leather seat shared by many.
Like the one I'm in now.
Yeah, those sperm donation, there you go. The sperm donation places are like, pick a number at the deli, except instead of getting delicious deli meats, you go jerk off where the guy before you was in. Not as good. Not as good.
Mandatory jack off in the same spot.
Yeah. Number 82.
Yeah, this Daddy's a lot better. Daddy sends you the iPhone of sperm testing and storage kits directly to your door. Literally, the coolest little kit. I added it to the studio. It looks that good. It's like Tony Stark made it. They take your sperm, they test it, and they store it for you so you don't have to worry about a thing, and you never have to leave your home. You get tested, you know how good your sperm is, and they'll save it for you. These services at sperm banks usually cost thousands of dollars. Daddy provides an at-home collection kit and a lab-tested fertility report and a year of sperm storage, all for $199. That's amazing for the first year. All of that for $199. And right now, we're providing a special limited time offer to the Barstool community for $50 off your first purchase. So down to $150. Go to daddykit, DADIKIT.com to order your kit and enter promo code FACTOR50 at checkout to get the $50 off the already low price.
You know who we're going to see this upcoming week, which is I'm fucking stoked about. I hate that they have to come out, but I'm stoked about is the Cajun Navy. That's like one of my favorite things that exists in this country is when
Navy,
all the boatsmen
badasses
from Houston and Louisiana all roll through, and they just all the Southeast boatsmen.
The Gulf Coast, really, they can be, I think, all around, and they'll go anywhere to help people evacuate from hurricanes or any type of flooding. But one of the issues with this back-to-back storm is they're saying the Cajun Navy might need to wait an extra long time before it's safe to get those boats out. That's the issue with the back-to-back.
Come on.
They're gonna get out there no matter what.
You're gonna have to be localized. You know, like the guys
Nothing's gonna stop them.
When the first one passes, those guys will be out. The second one passes, the other guys will be out.
For our divided country, let's just look at the Cajun Navy, man. That's the coolest thing.
That's for sure.
Those are the type of guys that
win.
You could have back-to-back hurricanes. If they hear someone's in trouble, they're just going to go out there anyways.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's been 2 weeks since Lukashenko thought he could get away with saying he won the presidential election with over 80% of the vote. Unfortunately, as we predicted, things are getting worse in Belarus. Things really picked up in Minsk this weekend, the capital of Belarus, where the large protests have taken place, the main protests. The Ministry of Defense is now sensing they're losing control, and they now have threatened not just the police, which have been out there allegedly torturing people, but now they're throwing the military out on the protesters as well. In fact, they said, we are strictly warning, in case of disruption of the order and peace in these places, you will have to deal with not the police, but with the army, in an official statement. So sticking the army on these protesters now. Not great.
I'm surprised it took this long.
Right? You'd have thought that it would have been, with the 80% rigged election results coming out, you'd have thought it would have been immediate. They would have had the army on standby.
They're probably waiting to hear if it was going to be theirs or the Russian army.
Putin
said, for now, it's yours.
Right. I'm super interested what's going on there because Lukashenko, right? I know you're going to get to it. He's afraid, maybe, and
he is.
Okay,
and he probably should be. The United Nations said Friday it was disturbed that reportedly no action has taken to investigate reports of large-scale torture and ill treatment of people and children arrested in connection with the protests. So, I'd be disturbed too, UN. Reports have been coming in of torture by the police and security forces. So now throwing the military, that doesn't sound like a recipe for anything good. If you get picked up by, the military or the police, you're probably going to get your ass kicked and waterboarded.
But they have clean facilities there.
Yeah. The European Union held an emergency summit recently over increasing concern of the situation in Belarus, and European Council President Charles Michel, I'm going to say, I think that's how you pronounce it. So
definitely.
It's
Charles
Michel. So the EU would shortly impose sanctions on a substantial number of individuals responsible for violence, aggression, and election fraud. So not sure what those sanctions will be, but might want to hurry that up. And there's a bunch of videos of the protests from this weekend you can go find online and see everyone in Minsk protesting. Also, a few crazy videos that were taken of Lukashenko, and this is what Pat was referring to. His 15-year-old son, himself, the president, and some of his security were seen walking like from the street along the sidewalk back to their palace where they live in full riot gear, each with rifles in hand. The president of Belarus and his squad are just prepared for a gunfight with protesters at all times at this point. His son go ahead.
It's like Scarface. He's like...
Yep.
Except he's an elected official.
Yeah, he's the current president, sitting president.
Well,
his son,
I mean, for 26
elected.
years.
It's pretty weird. Yeah, elected. Landslide. You'd think with 80% of the vote, he wouldn't have to worry for his life, but it's not the case. His son was even wearing a tactical helmet in case he gets shot in the head. That's how bad it is. So things aren't great in Belarus.
No. Jesus, why are they walking around like that?
I don't know.
I mean, the sanctions, though, those European sanctions, that's probably going to clear it right up, is my guess.
Should be fine after those
Just
sanctions.
like the Navalny stuff in Russia. That would be cleared right up with a couple sanctions, no problem.
Right. Now that the military's involved, they're not going to be able to catch up with the sanctions. They're going to be sanctioning the police, and then they're going to have to, there's going to be like a never-ending Rolodex of people they need to sanction because they're a little bit behind at this point.
It's kind of awesome, though, that the dude that stole the election is so fucking afraid that he's rocking full protective gear in his home state. Like, that's kind of dope because it means that he's afraid of the protesters.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it kind of dope because the whole situation doesn't sound dope.
Well, the opposite is he's not afraid. The opposite is he's not afraid and he steals the election, which is not
the military. The military's coming in like overall, it sounds like a pretty awful scene in Belarus.
It's going to be interesting, like with the that and then the poisoning of Navalny in Russia, and then I think Trump was saying he wanted to meet with Putin last week. Like, what are they going to talk about? There's a lot to talk about. So interesting timing.
So who's got the worst protest situation?
Just tell me you didn't poison him. Okay, I believe you.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It makes Portland look a little bit less crazy. Portland and Seattle.
That story is brought to you guys by Predict It. If you want to gamble on the news, you can totally legally in all 50 states, and we will give you a free $20 to do so if you go to www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. Go there. No promo code needed. Just go to that promo URL I just mentioned, create an account, deposit at least $20, and you'll get a free 20. If you don't go to that promo URL, you won't get the free 20. Let us know. We'll get it for you. The market I like right now is, will Kim Jong-un be in charge of North Korea by December 31st? Right now, that market is going absolutely crazy, guys, because I don't know if you've seen this, but Chang Song-min, a former aide to South Korean President Kim Dae-jung, who's now passed away, but he's one of the main aides for that former South Korean president, has alleged on Sunday that Jong-un is in fact in a coma. It's happening again. Last time he was in a pussy coma, but this time people are saying it's for real.
No way.
And younger sister, it's been reported by the New York Post and the Sun and a number of publications on Sunday that the rumor is he's officially in a coma and his sister Kim Yo-jong is poised to take over like today. Type stuff.
Have any publications that aren't tabloidy?
No. I mean, that's why the market's at only 75 cents. Let me see. 75 cents. Yes, he will be in charge because 3/4 of people still think he's not in a coma and he'll be in charge.
But if you want to take that tabloid run,
that's right.
Hit that 25.
It's shifting quickly. It was a 15-cent shift on Sunday. It was like 90 cents, up until the news came out on Sunday. So take a look at it. Do your own research. It's a fun one. You can bet on whether Kim Jong-un's going to die or not.
We need a statistician to look at the frequency at which he goes into comas, because I bet it's sick. We'll find a cycle, is my guess. Every 6 months he gets stressed out, goes down. Also, track the whores. You want to track the prostitutes in that country.
Did his dad pull that move? That's another thing you want to look at.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a
learned behavior.
Because then
didn't he go up on the mountain and hide them? Anyways, go to www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. Get that free 20. Get it. Go get it.
All right. Let's get to a terrible story out of Lima, Peru, guys. as partygoers illegally partied in defiance of COVID restrictions. They killed each other when police raided the nightclub or the disco they were at, which contained 120 people who didn't give a fuck about COVID, in a country that ranks 6th in the world for most cases, with over 585,000 and 28,000 deaths. I'm not sure if that's actually, it was 6th on the list. Maybe that's just,
well, it's a huge, massive population. The people of Peru, it's
32 million people. So
maybe they're like
which is
six
the size of like the city of Tokyo. It's nothing.
Well, I mean, it's a lot. 32 million. I don't know. Anyway, so Peru has strict rules against large gatherings. They were one of the first countries down there to actually, put harsh restrictions in against COVID. They have a nationwide curfew of 10 o'clock, no large gatherings. But that didn't stop these disco dancers. They were raging at the Thomas Resto Bar.
No disco stops at 10.
No. That's when the doors open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right. So they were raging at the Thomas Restabar disco, and when police went in to break up the party, this is actually around 9 o'clock, I guess, chaos ensued, and people tried to flee in a frantic stampede, crushing and suffocating 13 people to death. There was only...
Oh!
Yeah. There was... it was bad. There was only one door that people were able to try to get through. I think the door got blocked. Police eventually had to open it, so... suffocating, crushing people at the front.
Stampeding people in a bar? I mean, 13? This is insane. 10% of the people in there stampeded to death.
They're that scared of the police, huh? Jesus. That's not good.
No, it's not good. Well, I'll tell you why. They're not really scared of the police. They're scared of it sounds like the military police. So it was reported that the police fired tear gas, which usually keeps people calm when they're in confined spaces. However, police chief General Orlando Velasco, the chief of police, is denying his troops/police fired any kind of crowd dispersement weapons. Also, 23 people were arrested, and of those 23, 15 people tested positive for COVID. So,
wow.
Yeah, lots of... Whoa. They shouldn't have been there.
There's no body cameras on the military police in Peru. It's whatever they say goes.
They just lived all of 2020 in one night, those people at that
This
club.
is what happens on Mondays, guys. We give the news too many days, and then it's all bad shit. There wasn't a world's cutest baby this weekend or anything like that?
No. Not that I saw.
Definitely not. All right, guys, Steve Bannon, the founder of Breitbart News, Trump's former chief strategist, and the 7th Trump associate to be charged with federal crimes during his administration, was arrested for fraud last week, and he was taken into custody on a $35 million yacht that belongs to, wait for it, a Chinese communist billionaire who's currently a fugitive for rape and fraud himself. Bannon's just chilling on the dude's yacht when he can't access it.
Have you been on that boat, Pat?
No comment. Bannon was arrested for allegedly stealing close to $1 million from the We Build the Wall crowdsourcing effort. The GoFundMe guys raised more than $25 million and was the perfect storm of populism and Americana, organized by an Air Force veteran, triple amputee, Brian Kolfage, who was also arrested, along with 2 other Bannon associates.
Yeah, this was one of those stories that was so obviously going to be fraud. I believe when we first covered it, we all said unanimously, this is going to end in fraud.
Yeah.
We did.
Right.
If you rewind the tape, we said, they're not going to have nearly enough money to build the wall, so what are they going to do with their millions that they do get? Probably keep it. Yeah.
It's reported that they built 3 to 5 miles of wall, but not all the money went to the wall.
They wanted to make it look like they built something, but they kept a lot of it too, obviously.
Did you guys see the video of Bannon? He's talking to some guy, and he literally says that the guy was embezzling from the wall, but he plays it off like it was a joke. But now it seems like it
was obviously real. Yeah.
I mean, time out.
He was just drunk on camera.
I don't know who it was.
How is this illegal? Aren't GoFundMe's you get privatized money?
Because they said that they were going to build the wall with it. So
fraud
I think that's fraud.
In your GoFundMe description, if you promise to do something, then it's fraud.
Yeah, 100%. Look up what fraud is. GoFundMe also went to Kolfage. It was like, bro, you can't do this unless you name a nonprofit that you're going to give the money to. And then Kolfage went and put a board of directors in place and said, it's impossible for us to cheat. We have a board of directors, but...
I would imagine upwards of 50% of GoFundMe pages are fraud.
Yeah, it could happen. Guys, Kolfage repeatedly promised 100% of donations would go directly to the erecting of the wall, and that he would get none of the money, and that We Build the Wall was 100% legit. Anyone want to guess if that's what happened? Well, we already covered that. No. Colfig spent $350K in donations on home renovations, boat payments, a luxury SUV, a golf cart, jewelry, and cosmetic surgery. Some donors wrote directly to Colfig, this is a quote, that they did not have a lot of money and were skeptical about online fundraising campaigns, but they were giving what they could because they trusted Colfig and would keep his word about their donations and how they were being spent. Bannon used...
I'm with Will. You got to be careful on what you spend your GoFundMe's on if you don't have a lot of money.
I grew up... My family is in the charity world, and so, like, you know, they do a honorable job with the grants that they get, but certainly people who are, you know, reaching out and you know, gathering it aggressively that don't have much of like an operation behind them, you always got to be pretty skeptical of that.
Oh, yeah, and remember the people that raised the GoFundMe for the homeless dude that didn't give him the money?
Yeah. That he was in on it, maybe potentially.
Yeah, he was part of it.
Like I think he got arrested. I think they were all in on it. Like, but that's the whole thing with the GoFundMe is like if you have a direct thing that you need an exact amount of money for, and you get that exact amount of money and you do it, that's fine. But that's rarely the case. You either get not enough money or way too much money, and then if you get way too much money, what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah, I was overwhelmed. I didn't know who to give it back to. So many people donated.
Right. Well, that's why there are rules on what you can pay yourself if you're the head of a nonprofit organization. Because you can say, I'm going to go raise $50 million and I'm going to pay myself $100,000 to properly allocate it. This guy did not do that. He 100% said, I'm going to spend it all on the wall. Steve Bannon said the same thing. Steve Bannon spent $1 million on his personal expenses. Two other predictable things happened, guys. Other than these crooks stealing from poor rubes who bought into political messaging that a physical border was somehow a form of patriotism. The first, President Trump distanced himself from the project, denying knowing anything about the project and then quickly contradicting himself, saying that he never liked the project and the idea of a private wall funding was inappropriate. Second, Steve Bannon immediately martyred himself to garner support from the same rubes that he ripped off, saying this entire fiasco is to stop people who want to build the wall. So pretty predictable on both fronts there. And I'm sure there's a group of people that are like, we need to support that Steve Bannon. He was trying to build the wall. He fucking stole from us. Wake up. Wake up, Rubes. Wake up.
Rubes. It was just fraud the whole time, obviously.
All right.
Yeah, we called that. Rewind the tape.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
All right, got another scary story for you this morning. If you're feeling calm, I'm sorry. I'm sure many of you have heard there is yet another asteroid heading directly for Earth, and it's set to hit right before Election Day.
We're 30 minutes in, and this is like the sixth shitty story. No one's calm at this point.
2020, am I right? You know,
where are you in your coffee?
Yeah. Unfortunately for all of us, this asteroid named 2018 VP1 and first identified all the way back in 2018, so thanks for the heads up, NASA, is not big enough. So there's good news, because like 99% of all these fear-mongering asteroid reports, this one poses absolutely no threat to us and has less than a 0.5% chance of hitting us in the first place. The official statement from some NASA nerd says, Asteroid 2018 VP1 is a very small, approximately 6.5 feet, and poses no threat to Earth. If it were to enter our planet's atmosphere, it would disintegrate due to its extremely small size.
So why the hell is this news? Why are they doing this?
What?
Because
like, I missed the decimal. 65,000 feet.
Right. They like to scare us, Pat. And
guys, I got to tell you something. I almost had cancer, but then I didn't. Not news. Not news.
Yeah, that's kind of this.
Not something you share with people.
It's just because it was due to happen the day before Election Day, so everybody put it on a headline. You know?
Right. I mean, it could be the big one. I don't think they're going to tell us if the big one is coming, but it looks like for now, 2020.
Yeah, right. You think they'd let us know? They won't even tell us about aliens.
They won't let us know.
Are you kidding me? Did you watch the very accurate movie, not Armageddon, but the
Deep
other
Impact?
Deep Impact. You don't let them know until the very last second.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, until it's too late.
We're not going to know until the mothership is
you give them a day.
Down.
You give them a day.
Get your affairs in order.
Right.
Today.
Ben Affleck. Who was in that one? Morgan Freeman and who? Deep Impact?
Oh, God.
Was it Paxton? Was Paxton in that one?
No, I know Bruce.
Elijah Wood.
It's JV Armageddon.
Wasn't it Elijah Wood? No.
Elijah Wood was in it. Yes.
Yeah, the kid. He was the kid.
Yeah.
It is considered a twin movie to Armageddon. Will I liked it. Well,
I mean, they were both good, but Armageddon's significantly better.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
then had Aerosmith's #1 hit came out of that, their first and only.
First one, yeah.
All right, guys. Warner Brothers, speaking of movies, dropped their new trailer for The Batman from director Matt Reeves, who was previously, he directed Cloverfield, Let Me In, and Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes. Those are two different movies. Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes. Anyway, guys, the new Batman, simply titled The Batman, stars Robert Pattinson in the black suit, Robert Pattinson of Twilight fame. The trailer features the song Something in the Way, which will undoubtedly introduce the anti-establishment band Nirvana via studio a movie trailer to a new generation of fans. My first thoughts, Pattinson looks small. And this is leading to a disturbing trend, which I'll get into in a second.
He's a limber Batman, you know? He's a lot more.
I wanted to take a look at how big the Batmen of the past were, so I broke it down. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right, Michael Keaton of Batman and Batman Returns, 5'9". Val Kilmer, Batman Forever, 6 foot. George Clooney, Batman and Robin, 5'11". Christian Bale, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rising, 6 feet tall. Ben Affleck, Batman v Superman,
7 feet tall.
Suicide Squad, and Justice League, 6'4". But I would argue that the Affleck movies don't count, guys. Robert Pattinson is...
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree there that you don't need to count those.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Pattinson's 5'8".
I think Clooney, too, though.
What about him?
You could say those are...
No,
kinda
I'm saying you could say it
Or
don't
Val
count because
Kilmer.
it wasn't a full Batman movie. It was a Batman Versus or Batman as part of an ensemble.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So
I'm
but
with you there.
Pattinson, guys, is 6'1", so he's the second tallest Batman. Perhaps the tallest if we forget about Ben Affleck. But the big issue, the trend I'm worried about, guys, he's British. And if we remove Affleck from that, it means the last two Batmen were not Americans, Christian Bale being Welsh. And this is a disturbing trend we need to keep an eye on, guys. The Brits are the world's best actors, and they steal Americans' jobs regularly. And we need to have some scruples here and give American IP to American actors whenever possible. I think this is dangerous, and I don't like it.
Back to the size. Did you hear what Pattinson said about like working out? I thought you were going to talk about his muscle tone, which is not very impressive. The suit looks nice, but he himself is kind of gangly. He said that he refuses to like
lanky.
he refuses to like work out because he thinks it's like negative body image.
Well, that's not good.
And so he won't, no matter what the role is, he's not going to like lift weights or anything like that. Like,
Has he ever met a rich guy who thought he was more than he was?
All they do is lift weights. They're paying you like $25 million.
Has he ever seen
Do the
Batman
steroids.
before?
Yeah.
Has he ever
dickhead.
seen Batman? Oh,
Bruce Wayne has a
literally-
gym. That's the whole point about Batman is he's not a fucking superhero. He's a regular guy who has gadgets. You got to fucking be ripped, you dumbass.
Pattinson's always going to be gangly for every role.
Pattinson doesn't disappoint me that much. I wasn't that I was disappointed about, but I was literally watching Batman Begins, the scene where he's making Scarecrow trip balls, and Scarecrow seeing Batman as like the crazy, like dark. Anyways, I was watching one of the best scenes from the Chris Nolan Batman trilogy. While then I paused and saw the new Batman trailer, and everybody being like, "Oh my god, it's the best thing ever!" But I was literally watching already the best thing ever. And I was like, oh, this doesn't look as good at all.
So what you're saying is that scene that everyone's gushing over where he's like, I'm vengeance, and he punches him like in the face a bunch of times was not as intense as...
not nearly.
Okay, gotcha.
As I was just watching one of the Chris Nolan scenes, and I'm just like, oh, this isn't going to be
we'll see.
nearly
Matt
as
Reeves
bad.
is cool. Cloverfield was definitely like great. The Planet of the Apes movies were good, but they were like mega. They were more spectacle than good. Chris Nolan is the shit.
I loved the Planet of the Apes movies, the reboot. I thought they were excellent.
But you have to admit that that Chris Nolan's work generally has more prestige.
Well, I
probably,
heard
than
his
Matt
new
Reeves.
movie's a real turd. That Tenet got horrible reviews from some people. So it's just the worst movie ever. But I mean,
Does it have that sound effect?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, it's nonstop loud noises. But yeah, Christopher Nolan's movies are untouchable. I'm sure this movie's going to be good. It's just cool to have movies. Like, we need big movies.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going to happen, guys. The Alamo Drafthouse is opening in a couple of months. Some other theaters are trying to figure out how to come out. As we talked about earlier in the show, Hollywood's getting its butt kicked right now because the studios are taking their major tentpole films and they're going overseas with them to countries that are handling COVID better than we are. If that's not a reason to wear your fucking mask, I don't know what it is.
And go back to the theaters when they reopen, which they are reopening.
Let's get those Hollywood pedophiles back in business.
I'm ready for
they're
that.
horny.
I'm ready for them to get back in business.
If that's
They are
not
horny.
a reason, yeah.
Hey, we need, just like you need football, you need movies. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Right.
it. We need
Football movies,
entertainment. That's,
Yep.
this is-
It is pretty interesting though. Like Disney is releasing Mulan directly, the live action Mulan directly to video on demand. So I mean, we'll see. It's a shifting business, but there's nothing better than being in the theater. And that's gonna do it for Hard Fact, you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening today. Sorry about the shitty Monday. Things will get better this week. I have a feeling. It's just hurricane season, fire season,
minor
election
setback,
season.
major setback.
No
for
asteroid.
a
Don't worry
major
about it.
comeback. Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
toe-tingling Tuesday.
At least we beat the asteroid, guys, so we can continue our sad existence on this planet. I'm just kidding. Things are good. Give us a
That's an
follow.
uplifting way to end it.
Give us a follow at Hard Factor News, at Hard Factor Pat, at Hard Factor Mark, at Hard Factor Bill, at Hard
don't.
Factor West. Or don't. Who cares? I don't care.
Well, we'll all be dead.
Yeah.
You
I don't
know,
want you to.
someday,
I don't want you
tomorrow,
to.
or after. You know.
Stay away. Go
Don't
put your
waste
head in
your
the oven.
time.
And have a great fucking day, I guess.